Hello, heroes, and welcome to Tamriel Unchained podcast, the only Elder Scrolls Online podcast you ever need to listen to, even if you are a filthy casual like Engwar. So, it's a bit of an impromptu podcast. I mean, we typically do Mondays. We didn't do Monday because not a lot of information came out. Some was, but not a lot. However, information came out today. Just a little bit. Nothing really major. Like, just, went by to play and console dates. That's it. Like, that's nothing important, right, guys? Like, nothing that really is worth discussing.
No, I don't.
So, as always, let's introduce our hosts. We have Lumi the Lock.
With my friend Krabby. And I'm sorry, guys, but this is going to be my last episode with you guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a sad day for that. Sad day for everything.
Yes. We'll explain later on.
Yeah, we'll get more into where his adventure continues. And as always, we have Engwar, the filthy casual.
That's me, man. Ready to buy me some mounts. Woohoo!
But you're not going to get that special one.
I know.
True.
That's
true.
You know, I'm really kicking myself in the butt right now for taking like a couple month lull in between there. I don't get that nice one.
I was just like, yes.
So just so everyone knows, if there's a 12-month loyalty program coming out in April, so if you've been a subscriber to ESO for the last, for 12 months, you will receive a special rideable something. That's all we know. We just know it's rideable. So we're assuming it's a mount. It could be a sparkle pony. However, Engwar decided to take a break, and he will no longer be receiving his sparkle pony.
It's all right, man. Get me a guar.
Yeah, you're getting a guar. So, I mean, obviously we're here to talk about the whole buy-to-play, free-to-play fiasco that's going on right now. But before we jump into that, let's jump into two things that really haven't been talked about a lot today. One, consoles. We have a confirmed console date now. It's been solidified. June 19th, I believe it was.
Yep.
So, anybody who purchased the consoles...
June 9th.
June 9th or 19th?
9th.
9th?
I think so, yeah.
All right. So anybody who purchased the consoles purchased the game last year before June will have the option of copying your character over to the consoles. Now the key word there, I think, is copy, because there was a lot of misinformation, a lot of speculation as to what would happen with that. So they have confirmed that if you do wish to copy your character to the console version, all you have to do is buy the console version at a discounted price. It'll copy your character over to it for free, and keep it on the PC as well. So you can essentially have two of your characters progressing at the same time for free now, if you choose that option. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, they did say that you have to qualify for that copy transfer, right? I forget what the cutoff date was if you purchased.
It was around, I want to say, June last year. They actually had recently put up a dev post regarding this information. It was, I want to say, about a week or so ago that it was up on the dev tracker when I was looking through there. And it commented on the stuff.
Yeah, so as long as you bought the game by that cutoff date on PC, you'll be allowed a free copy, all characters transfer to the console game if you pick it up from there. So
like, basically anybody that buys it right now going expecting to have a free transferred console, I'm sorry, you just bought a free game that you can play now on both things.
Yeah, you've had to have owned the game prior to, I think it was like June 29th, right? That's what you guys said?
Yeah.
Of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, of last year, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously June 29th isn't this year, yeah.
So if you purchased the game prior to June 29th last year, you will have that option to copy over to the consoles, which I'm sure quite a few people that I know will be jumping on that bandwagon. So a question just popped up in chat, which I really want to get into because it's kind of a bit of a segue into this whole thing. So with new mounts coming out, will the cost of the mounts go down in game? So if you're not familiar, there is going to be an in-game store which will have options for mounts, vanity pets, costumes, potions, and hopefully we will never see the light of day of actual gear and weapons. We don't know, but let's just not even talk about that happening.
Right, yeah.
So what do you guys think? Like, with this new whole buy-to-play, removal of the subscriptions, do you think this is good? Do you think it's going to affect the in-game? Like, for example, the whole mount issue? Like, if you buy a mount, is it going to decrease the cost in-game?
I hope so. Or I think it'll adjust it slightly, but I don't, they already said that the new mounts on the store aren't going to be any better than a mount that you can buy from a stable master. So that's good. So it's just going to be a vanity thing. But imagine all of the work that everybody's put into some of their mounts as far as, feeding it, getting it carry weight or stamina or whatever the case may be. That's kind of a bummer. You got to start from scratch. But again, with the new champion point system coming online, you can throw points into that and speed up your feeding time for your new mounts that you can buy on the store. So there you go.
Well, they actually said also that they weren't just looking, like the mounts are going to have skill lines now. So there's going to be a mounted skill line. And how is that going to work into the integration of the system? How are the different things that we're looking at factor in? Because that's one of the things also that's going to suck for people like me who are max level, is the fact that I think I had 3 characters have max mounts. So I've blown all that money now on them, and since their mounts are going to be, spoiler, account bound, that means, okay, I have all these duplicates that really don't matter, because I always, for each one, I went full speed on one, pack horse on the other, and that's all I did. So it's going to end up becoming... essentially, I'm going to have duplicates of a bunch of things that are obsolete, and it's going to suck.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes better sense if they're going to do that, though.
Yeah, like one of the things that they mentioned was the whole way you're going to level up your mount. Now, like Engwar said, like Lumi said, what's going to happen if you have 3 mounts that are speed locked? I mean, if they're going to the skill point issue, are they just going to say, okay, well, here, you can have max speed? Or are they going to keep the aspect of feeding, which I really hope they do, because that was a cool aspect to this game, and just have that account bound? So if I have a level 50 speed horse, all my horses will have the option to be level 50 speed horses. Or are they going to keep it so if I have a level 50 speed horse and a level 50 carry horse, will they combine into one mega horse?
Ooh.
I don't think so. But it's also one of the things that was one of the very interesting aspects that they announced for the champion system when they talked about the steed, is for at max level the steed champion thing, the ability to unlimited sprint out of combat. I know for at least in PvP, no one's going to go for stamina at that point. In PvP, it's going to be all speed, and you don't really need capacity that much because you just carry about 5 of each thing, and essentially you can constantly resupply on the move. And so no one in PvP is going to be going capacity or stamina. So it's basically, if you use straight PvP, all you use is speed, and that's it. And how is that going to change things up?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that's going to work out. I don't know.
So in the videos that they showed, what was your guys' favorite horse?
Was not a horse.
It was no. Oh, you want the Gwar. All right. So what was your favorite mount?
Yeah, Gwar for mount. Horse, I really dug the black and white spotted.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
The white mane.
The white mane horse was my favorite. What about you, Lumi? What was your favorite mount?
I want to see one of the Gwars full speed with retreat maneuvers and see what the hell it looks like running full bore off a cliff.
That will be.
That's
good.
my goal. Is
you can just see it's
when I'm going to buy a Gwar right after that, go into PvP, make sure it's maxed out on speed, give it retreat maneuvers, and I'm going to go run as fast as I can and jump off a cliff. And like, let's see what happens. I want to see.
So since we're talking about mounts, let's go back to this 1 year mount. Now, obviously, it's 100% speculation, and I hate speculation, but I have to say,
I love speculation.
I hate speculation. I think speculation kills games, but let's not talk about that. But I really, really, really would love it if it was a mud crab mount. Am I the only one who would want a mudcrab mount?
You're speculating.
I am. But this isn't even speculation. This is just like throwing the dart in the wind.
No,
Like,
dude. I think the best mount that they could do for the
Daedric
1 year guys would be the Dwemer Spider. Come on.
that would be really cool.
That would be the ultimate best mount.
I have an idea of what it's going to be, but I'm still saying I want the Daedric Titan. I want to be Ryan, one of those suckers, into town going, "You going to mess with me, boy? You going to mess with me?" But I'm guessing it's the Sentient Tiger. That's my guess on what it's actually going to be. Because they already showed the models for it, but they didn't show any of the pictures of that in the thing.
They showed the pet version of it, though, because that is an option. You could have the sentient tiger. as
They
a
showed
pet.
the Black Panther, I believe, but not the tiger.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, Black Panther.
But the spider would be cool. I would love
You're saying you don't want Daedric Titan?
No, I'm going to say no. I think it would be really cool to have, but no because it flies. And I don't want flying mounts.
Yeah, that's lore.
No, it just jumps in the air right now.
Its wings are clipped. You got to wait a couple years for it to grow
Well,
up.
you had to beat into submission before you could control it, and that's how you do it.
And that's a good, we can sit here and joke about that, but that is kind of maybe a legit discussion to have. How crazy a stuff are we going to see in the store that's going to come by mounts? Obviously they're not going to involve flying mounts of that nature, but how crazy is it really going to get? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, look at the Blizzard store. It's packed full of mounts. And they're $25 a pop, and people buy them like crazy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I was going to say the SWTOR model, look at that, and this is one of the things, like, I know people don't like gear, but I like a couple things of their system. The ability to buy low-level gear as you're going, and the cosmetic gear, things, I like that about the SWTOR system. And then, I know they said they're not going to do it, but I like the system of being able to buy stuff, and then after a couple days, put it on the auction house if people wanted it, or I'd be able to trade it to a friend. Go, hey, yeah, I got this, and I'm giving it to you because you're my buddy. It's like, eh. So if I want to be able to share this fun game that I'm having with you, and be like, well, I know that you can't afford this, but here, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, that's a question I have. Is definitely, can you gift some of these items? Like they did say, if you buy it in-game using the store with crowns, it's bound to you. You can't trade it. But I would suspect these items will also be available on the ESO digital store, such as because you can already buy the mounts on there. Will we be able to buy this stuff with
mount singular?
Yeah, mount. Well, you can get the Imperial mount too, in a way. Will you be able to buy this on that store using real money? If so, can I gift that? I don't see why I can't gift that as long as it's not gold. Because I'm also assuming that you'll be able to buy crowns.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm assuming sure as well.
That's a good question, but
It's one of the questions that I brought up when I was talking with some of the guys from Requiem and Ethereal Army and a couple of guildies and Gamebreaker as well already after the show. And I was talking with them, and I was trying to get them to ask it in the ESO Live. I was trying to poke Gina about it. Lotro had a very good system that I found very interesting of when you go out into the world and do the achievements. You can be able to do the achievements, and they'll give you additional coins towards the things you can buy. And I was trying to get them to ask, if I go out and will I be able to get more crowns for doing the achievements so that I can be able to buy more stuff. So these people that they may play the game like crazy doing achievements, all these things, they can get the crowns, and potentially, if they want to, they could potentially buy the next expansion. Eventually, they're going to run out of achievements, so they're going to have to pay with their own money again. But at that point, they can buy stuff in game.
right. I think it was a really good system that I like. Lotro did that to bring that new, when they went to that free to play, that buy to play model, whatever it is, into the system. They could tack it on with the quest now that we have in game that gives you a skill point. So you're going to get a skill point and maybe like 5 crowns in addition to the skill point. That would be a brilliant idea, I think.
I fully agree. I mean, I think I never played Lotro, so I can't really comment on that. But I really like the idea of putting a currency to the achievement points, because I can't think of any game other than you mentioned Lotro that uses the achievement points for anything. Like I have like 12,000 achievement points, I have close to I think 12,000 in World of Warcraft, and it's completely useless.
Well, that's one of the
In
things
ESO, I
was
got like 7,000 again, useless.
in Lotro, it was only certain achieves, though. Like, they had to be very specific achieves. And one of the things, Engwar, I would have to actually disagree with you on that point, is the fact that if they did do it through quests, the people that they never want to pay for the expansions, they would be basically spending their entire, like, if they want to play the game, they just keep on leveling characters over and over again, going, all right, got more crowns, now I got enough to pay for the next expansion.
Well, you'd only
Okay,
be able to get the crown for one time around. I would
yeah,
assume.
they'd have to do a lot of
Yeah.
back end work to make sure that, okay, the person's already done this quest once and stuff. So it required a lot more work on that, and that's why I just
Yeah,
don't
you
think.
can't do that with skill points, so you
Yeah.
won't be able to do that with crowns. No way.
But that's one of the things, though, I believe, and it's one of the things, if they did do the implementation of the crowns from the achievements, they would probably make achievements account bound as well at that point.
Yeah.
Because it would be the most logical thing, because then they make sure that you can't do exactly like I talked about with questing, doing the same things over and over again and then losing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a broad way, the achievements are kind of account bound. Like if you earn any rewards other than titles, all the dice stay with you. The dice are account bound.
Yes.
So,
Next thing, it would just be the next logical step
Yeah.
in the phase.
So, what is your guys' impression of this? I mean, we've been talking about it, but you haven't really said if you love it or hate it. Like, what is your, when you first woke up this morning and you saw this news saying, "Oh, look at this ESO Premium service," and you were like, "What?"
When I first woke up to a text message telling me that ESO went freaking buy to play, first thing that went through my head was like, "Yep, I knew it." I mean, come on, the writing was on the wall. I don't think anybody was really shocked that this was going to happen. Everything that started out, a month ago with, one company pulling it off the shelves and snowballing into a couple of companies doing it, the removal of the 6-month subscription, all of that just fell right in line with, I don't think anybody's really surprised. And if you are surprised by this announcement, then I don't think you've really been paying attention to what's been going on.
I'm gonna say I was surprised. I mean, I was surprised that Bethesda, as big as they are, has actually accepted. They accepted defeat in terms of pay to play, and it sucks because I'm a firm believer in the pay to play model. I think it's the best model out there. Is it the best in terms of money? No, obviously buy to play or free to play is because of the item shops. It's been proven that item shops generate more revenue than a subscription base because people spend more than $15 a month. And I can pretty much guarantee people will be spending more than $15 a month on this cash app buying crowns for the items.
Oh,
Yeah.
Especially
Although-
the role players. Those wedding dresses, like that wedding dress is probably 800 crowns.
That was a brilliant move.
I'm doing a Jester PvP night as soon as it comes out. Like, everybody. So, because, well, come on, you've seen my Joker quotes that I presented to you guys when I've been starting wars on a 0-star and just poking fights. Like, I love doing the Joker quotes. I'm like, Jester will work out perfect. But as for surprise, like, when I was talking with Krauss from Ethereal Army yesterday, there's the fact of, like, we talked about the 6 months dropping. You could try to justify that going, well, it's easier on the sub base, it's easier from them on this point and stuff, looking at it from the analytical thing. And then I heard about the boxes being pulled. I'm like, well, they're relaunching with the champion and justice system. It's going to change the entire dynamic of how the game works. They're probably going to want to relaunch the boxes with all the new information, basically going, hey, vet system's going to be gone. It's the new champion system. It's going to be these dynamics. I'm like, I can still justify that. What got me that's when I started going, okay, it's probably going to go buy to play because it's the better system. It's probably going to be coming out before QuakeCon, and most likely it'd be best to launch it with patch 1.6. So sometime I'd be guessing around March. Was the fact that when they pulled the time cards was the clincher because all that is, it has really no information on it, nothing. All it is on the time cards is essentially game time, a subscription. And so at that point, it's like, if they're pulling subscriptions from every place, then that means most likely it's going some sort of free-to-play. Whether it's a free-to-play model, like a straight free-to-play model, or a buy-to-play system, it meant it was going one of those two.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I can see where you're coming from. Like, I completely agree on what you're saying. But why would they pull the time cards? The game still has a subscription. You can still pay $15 a month. You can still pay, like, even the 6-month subscription is there.
Yeah, they just brought it back for Tamriel Unlimited.
Like, you can pay for 30 days, 90 days, or 180 days. The 6-month subscription is still there. So I don't understand the pulling of the time cards. That still baffles me.
That's what the thing was that was kind of my last thing of going, they pulled the time cards. I'm like, that's, like, I can understand the boxes, but the time cards, and this is one of the things that was already been brought up in the discussion, and I'll get you guys' view. Unlimited? Really? Unlimited? It was one of the things like I'm like, it just like.
Well, maybe they
The
wanted
Elder
to call it
Scrolls
Tamriel
Online.
Unchained.
Yeah.
That was taken.
It was taken. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys. Sorry.
But it was just the thing of like, it just doesn't like the Elder Scrolls Online. Then Unlimited. It's like, yeah, it just doesn't for me. The name just doesn't ring. So is it going to be for Tesla when you tweet them? Is it going to be TSOU now?
Well, the game is still it's still the Elder Scrolls Online. It's now the Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited, sort of like World of Warcraft, Warlords of Draenor. So essentially, this is just an expansion, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
It is.
So go ahead, Engwar.
What do you think? The question in chat there is, what do you think the cost of these DLCs are going to be? These packs that they're going to release. How many crowns would you suspect that they're going to be?
Well, do you think the DLCs are going to cost crowns, or do you
Well,
think it's going to cost real money from the digital store?
I think it's going to be both. Honestly, I mean, it's real money for the free to buy to play players to pay real money to get into the DLC, and or they're going to have, obviously, if you don't want to pay that money, real money, and you've been playing in the buy to play model for a while, and you've got enough crowns built up through purchasing them or whatever, then you buy that DLC with inside the game. I mean, that both of that's there. Look at the SWTOR model and the Lord of the Rings model. They're both there. So
I was going to say that was probably the best way to do it is in the game you can essentially, like, you're paying a lot of times, except for us who have been here for a while, we're going to get the free crowns automatically. Like, I think they said 100 crowns per month you subscribed. So on top of what I'm going to get for being a subscriber, I'm going to get like another 1,200 crowns. But you get those for being part of the thing and the different things you can do, which in order to do those, a lot of times, in order to buy the crowns, you're going to have to pay real money in order to get the crowns off their store, which means if you can use your crowns to buy expansions, just like in SWTOR, then you can use crowns, or you can just pay the straight cash for it. And that's in almost all free-to-play games that I've played, SWTOR, Lord of the Rings, you have your choice of paying straight cash or using the in-game currency.
Well, a little bit off topic here, but SWTOR, you can buy the Revan pack with credits?
with cartel coins, yeah.
Yes.
Well, then I might have to go back and play it now. I didn't want to buy it, but I have a whole bundle of cartel coins. All right, news. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's one of the things that almost all the expansions, they end up being where then they're put onto, I believe you can actually buy them not only with cartel coins, but with credits, because I know for some of the stuff, like they were put into, like you could buy the bundle for, like this section of, Section X was available that you could be person could buy it 2 days later, put up on the auction house, and for just real in-game credits, you could buy it off there as well. And so it worked out very nice for the people that it's like, well, I don't have actual money, but I am very good at farming inside the game, and so I can buy it that way and use it to play the actual game that I want to.
And
So what else? What else we want to talk about here?
Crap.
the chat's pretty obsessed with his OP crab. What do you guys want to see in this store? Like, obviously, there's going to be costumes. Like, is there any specific costumes that you guys want to see? During the show, we saw a few. I mean, that Jester costume was just awesome. I think that was probably one of the best ones I've seen.
Well, I love the dance animation they used with it too.
Yeah, the night one was kind of cool too. But like, is there any specific ones that you guys right off the bat are going to go buy, or that you would like to see in this store?
Jester Chef.
Jester Chef. No,
I'm going to be PvPing in either as a Jester or a Chef. Although I'd love to be able to. This is one of the things I've asked before. The die system. I'd love to be able to die in there so that I can make myself a bloody chef.
all of the trolls in AVA. I can see it now, man. Hordes of jesters just running through. I'm calling it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you gotta admit though, that was a sweet looking costume.
It was cool. No, I think
Jester
a lot
thieves.
of what. Yeah, there you go. Sneaking jesters.
Hello, friends.
It was a very smart idea, though, to bring in armor-looking costumes. Like epic looking armor stuff.
Yeah,
or classic armor, I guess would be a better way to describe it.
Yeah, like the knight, the Royal Knight or whatever it was called, looked really good. It looked very authentic too. Like it looked like what knights would have worn.
Yep.
Well, it's a very smart idea, and Soldier did the same model where if you see it's something in game on a player on like an NPC, they're going about that route where, hey, you can buy this off the store, and it's one of the things that like it's one of the things for any. I was actually hoping they do it earlier in the thing where if you see that, it's like you can get that at some point. So you come across a person and you're like Madame Moker's armor. I'm like, oh, that armor looks awesome, and then I found out I can get that once I get to I think it was VR10. Like, oh, right, I got this awesome costume.
So I got a question. I don't know if this is skipping ahead in what you had planned to talk about, but what were some questions that were not discussed, talked about?
Like, yeah, that's a good question. Let's go to Lumi, because let me think about it. Put Lumi on the spot. Were there any questions that popped in your head that they didn't answer, that you were like, what do you mean? What about this?
Well, I already mentioned mine. So, back to you, Garbrac. Mine was the Chiefs.
The Chiefs. Yeah.
Oh, the Chiefs. Okay.
Yep, that was I had poked Gina a couple times about that, asking about the Chiefs. So that was one of my big things, because that means that as a person in game, you can have fun. It's I believe the buy-to-play model of the two is the better system, and how they're doing it, I believe they're doing it very well. And it's one of the things that where I've been talking with quite a few of community members about different things, different guild leaders about stuff. Some of them I know have already gone where I'm quitting the game, I'm just pulling out now. But a lot of them are like, we're going to see this through, we're going to see what happens, we're going to work together. And it's one of the things that as a community we can have a choice of either break apart or come together. I believe it's a better time to come together right now when we have these things going on.
Okay, so my question that I have that I don't think was even touched upon was, okay, I'm a subscriber and I'm playing a DLC and I'm questing through this DLC. However, this month I'm a little short on cash. I can't subscribe for next month. So I'm going to park myself in this DLC. Next month when I have time to jump back on the subscription or I'm going to switch over to the free-to-play or buy-to-play model because I want to continue playing the game, right? Am I like stuck in the DLC? I can't play, or can I continue all these DLC quests in my quest log? What happens to them? You know what I'm saying? The transition between subscriber to the buy-to-play back to subscriber happens all the time in games like these due to finances and and the economy. So what happens to me in that case? That's not been discussed at all.
If anything, my thought on that one would be most likely, like for certain DLCs, like if it's a bigger DLC, you would have to have been subscribed for so many months beforehand in order to be qualified for that DLC. Like, let's say for if it's the Champion Justice System, since it's such a big thing, okay, you will have to have been played at least, been like plus status for at least 3 to 4 months before that. Otherwise, you will not qualify to get that for free because it's such a big change. Where some of the small ones, it's like as long as you were a Plus member the month before, because it's going to be about $15 again still, so it's going to equivalent to that. So you'd have to factor in that of how much of an expansion.
Well, just to go on what Engwar said, if I'm a subscriber when the DLC comes out, I am given it for free. Correct? Like, there's no question about that.
Correct.
Now, during the first month of it being out, I've already had access to it, I get it for free, and I unsubscribe. The question you asked was, what happens to your character? In my mind, I would assume because I was given it for free, it would stay free on my account.
That would be the logical, you think, but what actually does happen at that point? I mean, is all that stuff going to be, that content for me is just locked in my quest log until I go back onto the Plus system, or what?
And if that's not the case, what would you guys be opposed to saying, okay, say a DLC comes out and you're a subscriber. If you subscribe for 2 months after that DLC, you're given to it for free. That way you don't have to buy it. That way that'll prevent people from just subscribing for the month before it releases, getting it for free and then dropping it.
Yeah,
well, I
those sort of
guess
things
even
just go on
then
the
you'd have you'd have to compare the costs of buying the DLC. If it's less than $15 to buy the DLC, that wouldn't make any damn bit of sense at all. You know,
I don't know. I would imagine the DLC would probably be like $19.99, $20.
well, in that case, yeah, you might have people subbing just so they can get the DLC at a cheaper price. I don't know.
I would assume. I mean,
Yeah, it's all assumptions right now. We don't.
I mean,
know.
how much was Revan? Revan was $20, wasn't it?
Yeah, $20.
And I'm not gonna like throw people under the bus, but that game sucked, and its expansions tend to be pretty small. Like, I mean, when they released the whole planet full of quests, it was like 6 quests.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So,
Yeah, that's one of the things that they said, that some DLCs will be given out for free. It's like, I'm guessing that's gonna be anything like that are just changing like internal stuff, like the patches that we've had previous of like animations and different things. I'm pretty sure those will be basically, here, we're not gonna charge you anything for this. Here you go. But things like the Champion Justice System, probably Thieves Guild, Dark Brotherhood, those ones, which at that point then it's like you won't be able to get those quests. I'm guessing those ones will be you have to pay for.
and so let's say now, just so there's no confusion, the Champion System and the Justice System, patch 1.6 is included in for free. So
Yes,
it's you don't have to pay
Yes.
for that.
No.
I was just
Let's-
using it as an example.
Let's just say Dark Brotherhood gets released, and it's a DLC, and I'm a
$50.
subscriber. So I get it for free, but Engwar is currently he's doing the buy to play model at the moment. I go talk to the NPC that gives me an assassination mission. Engwar goes and tries to talk to that NPC. What are they going to say? They're just going to be like, "Oh, sorry, you need to give me money before I give you a quest." Like, what's going to be that interaction? I'm sorry, you hit a pay gate. Like,
Well, it could just be like in the game right now, if you're not in that section of the quest and you walk up to that person, they'll just be like, "What the fuck do you want? What's going on?" I'm not talking to you. It's like, oh, okay, bye.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would imagine that, first of all, I don't see the Brotherhood being a DLC. I just think that's... Okay, for the sake of an example, yeah, but I would think anything that nature would be something instanced. So you would have access to that instanced area to get to it. Obviously, already announced the first DLC that's going to be coming out is the Orc City.
yeah, Orsinium.
Yeah, Orsinium. So we know that's happening.
Yeah.
And the way they were describing the way that's going to work, if you can go in there at any level, whether you scale up or it scales down, we don't know yet. That's going to be an instance zone for sure. So you're going to pay to get into that instance. I see that how being DLCs work, because if you look at, we'll use Skyrim model for an example, Dawnguard and Dragonborn, the DLCs that they had there, you had to instance into those areas. So, well, a Dawnguard, you had to go through a pass to get through which was previously closed, but it wouldn't let you into that pass if you didn't have the expansion. It would be closed. So, I would see it working that way.
Yeah, sort of
Well,
similar
it's just-
to like what World of Warcraft has with the portals.
And
Yeah,
well, Craterhorn
exactly.
as well. You had to take that crate in order to get there for the first time. And it's like, well, if you can't get there, then sorry, it'll be this, and then you couldn't probably teleport to anybody in guild to get to there. So it'd just be like, sorry, this area's blocked off until you pay.
Yeah.
Now, Engwar, you brought up the comment of like instanced areas and stuff like that, and you brought up Orsinium. So during the show, Paul Sage was talking about how when you buy a DLC, doesn't matter the level, you'll be able to go in and play it right away, which I think is a great aspect for a buy-to-play model. It prevents people from, or it gets more people engaged in the game, especially newer content. But one thing that I have questions about, and I would like to see what you guys think about this, is when they said it, Paul Sage said, once it's released, you'll be able to go in and play with your friends as soon as you get it. So as soon as you pay
Right.
for it. But then Pete Hines says, and I mean, Pete Hines is the VP of Bethesda, so like I said, maybe it's just an ignorance thing. He's not fully informed as to what's going on. But he said you'll be able to go into these zones and they'll scale to your level. So if I'm level 12, is it scaling to a level 12? Or is it scaling me to level 50?
Right. I would, if that's the design that they're going for, I would imagine it's going to work exactly like the dungeon scaling works now. That system's already there. It's already in place. So that was the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, it would all of us scaling up to. I can imagine it being a level 50 content, but
Well, the
they
only
want-
thing I have to disagree with you here right now, Engwar, because if they did that, then each person would be instanced into their own thing, and so you would be separating everybody throughout the entire zone. Where if they level everybody up, it'd be more like PvP, where everybody is together and being able to do the same content.
right. I mean,
Where-
that's the questions. We don't really know how that's going to roll out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because that was one of my concerns. That's what made me think of it, was if I'm level 12 and it puts me into there with all level 12s, what happens if I have a level 50 friend? Like, is
Yeah.
it scaling to, like, is he coming down to a level 12 level, or is he being level 50 and level 12 level? Or, like, am I going to see anybody outside my group? Because if it's a completely instant zone, I'm done. I hate instant zones. It ruins the whole MMO part. Well, the whole MM part, the O is still there. But it just becomes a single-player online game. I hate instance. So if it's instance, it might be the nail in the coffin that just, I'm done. I mean, I hate instances. The buy-to-play model, I don't want to say I'm okay with, because I hate the community that these games harbor. And maybe the Elder Scrolls community that we have right now will just stomp the trolls right off the bat, which I really hope
course.
happens.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know. I really hope there's no scaling. I hope if it does scale, it puts us all at 50, and I see all 50 levels. Like, everyone's a level 50.
I think that would make the more sense, though. Like you said, if it's going to be new content and you want to go play that new content with everybody else on the server or in your alliance or whatever the case, yeah, it's going to scale up, not scale down to your level if you're the group leader. So
Yeah. That's one of the things is, I didn't think of it till now, but when they eventually do get rid of the VR levels for PvP, it's going to change a lot of the dynamic, because one of the big strengths, especially if whatever they do with the gear, one of the big strengths is if you're a VR 14 going up against a level 10 that's boosted to level 50, guess what? You're still going to kick the crap out of them. Where if they reduce the gear and change that all up, it's actually going to change it a lot more, where it's going to become more closer, and people are going to be more equal.
Since you brought it up, you made me think of something. When they get rid of the VR levels, in terms of PvP, how easy is it going to be to face roll guards, like the keep guards? I'm a little worried about how easy that's going to be.
Guards are still a pain in the ass. We four-manned a keep yesterday in Game Breaker, but it took us about 2 hours to take the keep, because if you did not eliminate every single guard, like, especially once they're maxed out to level 5, the Dragon Knights were throwing negates like crazy, and it was just like, it was a slugfest in order to get in there. So I still don't think the guards will be a rollover.
No, you think they'll still be somewhat difficult?
Some of the archers, if you're not blocking, will one-shot you right now. They may be
right
a bit
now,
easier.
yeah.
They maybe get slightly easier, but I don't think they're going to get, like, the way to be able to roll them over.
yeah,
Which I hope not, because it makes taking a keep, like, it's fun to four-man a keep, but it's a pain in the butt at the same time.
What are you thinking there, Engwar?
I don't know. That's a good question. We're gonna flat level all of the NPCs in there, because there is not going to be a V5 anymore. So maybe they'll just make them all more elites, or whatever higher champion, like bosses are in trials and stuff like that. They might make them that kind of level to where it's going to take quite a few of you to get them down. I could see that happening. But
Yeah.
also, I think as far as the comment about trolls coming in and destroying this, you're right. Our Ramp and Trent says that trolls are cheap, so this game is still going to be $60 to buy. So if you want to pay $60 to go in and troll people, that kind of weeds out the younger trolls, I think.
And that's why I'm glad that they went with this model over the straight free-to-play, because there's still essentially that pay gate to get in that's going to deter a lot of people that, which there's still going to be a lot of people that just complain, well, why didn't you go completely free-to-play? And it's the people that they basically want to change every single thing for their stuff. And that's why I like the system, and it'll bring more people into the community, but they'll be, as long as we stand strong as a community, the community will still be good, will be strong. We're just going to have more people to hang out with and have fun. That's the main point of this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the game might be $60 retail, but you can find it online for like $30, if even cheaper than that sometimes. I ran into a website today that has it for $25. So it's not an overly expensive game. It's definitely on sale a lot. Oh, it's on sale at least every 2 months at Bethesda. So I still think we're going to get a lot of trolls, but that's just me being bitter about the whole buy-to-play thing.
Yeah, but I still think we're a strong enough ESO community that we're just going to squash that right off the
I really hope you're right. Like, I mean, the ESO community is by far probably one of the best gaming communities I've seen, and this is coming back from, like, back in Ultima days. And Ultima had a really cool community, had a lot of griefers, though. It was horrible.
You're saying we don't have griefers? Have
But
you
I
been in
mean, look at
PvP?
World of Warcraft. It's such a massive game, but it's dominated by forum trolls. Like, it's horrible. You can't have a decent conversation on their forums. It just doesn't work. You post a question on, you can expect to get flamed for not knowing the answer to your question.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff I really don't want to see, because right now, if you go to the forums and you read the discussions, there's educated replies, there's detailed replies, there is the occasional troll that tries to get in there, and the mods are actually pretty active on removing them. But ESO harbors a very friendly community, I would say.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I really hope you're right that we have that heavy foot, but we don't want that here.
Let's just hope that strong, awesome community doesn't shrink too much.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, how many people are leaving? So when this news went live, we saw a tweet from one of our fellow podcasters that he will no longer be doing the show. So it's sad to see Tales of Tamriel stop doing their show. I mean, I was a fan of it, and but we'll see. They're venturing on into a new network, Dungeon Crawler Network, and they have their own YouTube channel. So they are expanding their horizons, getting their feet wet in other places. So we'll see where they lead.
Come on, Agelos, Deltia, hang in there, guys. Have faith.
I don't think Deltia is going anywhere. I saw.
I saw his reply.
He tweeted earlier, but he was looking to buy a PS4. He's like, anybody know where I can buy a PS4 so I can do console guides? It's like, oh, you're staying.
Nice. That's good. He's a great guy. So that's awesome.
It is. But how many other people are leaving? Like, I mean, like I said, Tales of Tamriel's, they got a pretty decent following. So how many people are leaving because of that? How many people from, I'm pretty much guaranteed Entry Rising, there's going to be a bunch of people just leaving.
Yeah, I've already talked with, I know of one guild that at least half of their people said that they're quitting. Another group where they're just like, we're locking down right now until we know more information. Where each guild's taking their own response. Where I'm basically for Game Breaker, I just went, well, we're going to still stay open if people come. The same mentality that I've had the entire time. If people come. We're going to have a good time, and we may have to change a bit of who we're dealing with, but besides that, we're just going to have fun. That's the point of this community, is to have fun in this game.
There you go. ESO OTR is not leaving. Quest Gaming Network confirmed.
Oh, man. It would. Good. I couldn't imagine them leaving. Like, could you imagine them stepping away from an Elder Scrolls game?
No, Varrowan would never do that.
Like, that's an end of an era right there. They step away and be like, you know what, we're done with the Elder Scrolls. And it's like, what? No. Like, oh no, I could never see that happening.
So, Garbrac, what question that did you have that you didn't see answered?
My question was the whole: are we able to buy the stuff on the digital store? And I personally like to give stuff away. I love giving things away, and sadly, I can't buy anything on the ESO store and give it away. Like, it just doesn't. They don't.
You have to go to the Bethesda store, like
I even tried to purchase like Imperial editions and regular editions, and I go to purchase, like, oh, you already have an account for this game. It's like, I know, but I want to give one away.
Yeah. That's true.
That's why you gotta buy the box coffee. That's one of the things why I looked at different things for when I was doing that Christmas event, the Do You See What I See event. And it was like, well, Ouroboros leather messenger bag. Everyone's, a lot of people are going to want it. I'll give this away. And basically put the statement of anything less to that. So they can take the pick because I can't go into digital purchases. And I hope that, like you said, Garbrac, you'll open up that aspect so that we can give out those things to people and be able to go, though, like, it's going to have to be on that end instead of in-game because they already said, like, we're not going to allow you to, the crowns are on your account. So it's like, that's one of the things, like, I liked about the Soul system, to be able to gift. That was one of my favorite things, was if I was playing with a friend that didn't have much, I'm like, here, have this. It's yours now.
Yeah. Well, I can understand if you buy it in-game using in-game currency, but if I buy it with real money out of a game, that's when I should be able to gift it. That's when if I buy it and it says no, I'll be like, oh. I had a really good question. Now I can't remember it. Oh, so during the video we saw a city that I have no idea anything about it, and whoever is behind the Quest Gaming Network in chat is going to be completely upset with me. But that city, that Clockwork City, looked awesome. I know absolutely nothing about it, but I want to live there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I didn't even know something like that existed. Like, I was like, holy crap, they invented the city, and people in chat were like, oh my god, it's Clockwork City, that place is awesome. Like, wait a minute, you've been there before?
That looks like an Alien Ruins, right?
They are.
I thought it was Dwemer.
They are
Dwemer.
appealing to the lore.
It was all
heads,
mechanical. Man, I don't know Elder Scrolls lore, but
Dwemer?
it was mechanical. I instantly
I
thought
thought that was
Dwemer.
Alien. Oh, I'm so confused. Trolled Garbrac there.
Wait, what?
It's Dwemer. Yeah, it's Dwemer.
Okay, well, don't confuse me, man. Because I don't know. Aliens are like the elf ones, right? Like the ancient elf.
You can't look at it. It's like automatically Dwemer. Like,
as soon as I need mechanical things, I just that's Dwemer. It's mechanical. That's
yeah,
assume.
but they announced, that's one of the things that they announced quite a few different zones in there that they haven't announced yet. Stuff. They showed us Orsinium, but then they also showed us Clockwork, what looks like a new dungeon, Mephilen's Lair, and then that one port place. I can't remember what it was called. It looks like in the Alec area.
I would assume that's all in one DLC. Like, I'm pretty sure that's all within Orsinium. Like, that whole thing is with that zone. Because they also mentioned another zone, 8 months
I think
ago?
Clockwork will be a zone all by itself. It looked really huge. Like, it looked interesting.
See, I thought that was just going to be a giant city, not a zone.
All right, I'm going to stir up some pot here. You ready?
You're going to stir up some pot? Or are you going to stir the
I'm
pot?
going to stir up the pot here. Ready?
Okay.
Imperial City, DLC?
Oh, God, no. I hope not.
Yes. Now here's
It's
the
a
thing.
good question, though, but really...
How would you do that? How would you approach that?
I got something more to stir the pot. Did you guys notice something? It's one of the things that I was talking with some of the guys from Requiem, a couple guys in Gamebreaker after this. Imperial City hasn't been mentioned for about 3 months now. They've talked about how they're looking and keeping talking and discussing the changing how PvP works and the buffs and everything. Do you think they may be changing the entire idea of what Imperial City is at this point in time and change it? Because they have gone completely quiet on Imperial City for quite some time now, where they were flaunting it and now all of a sudden they're like, not saying anything.
I swear I need to get myself a tinfoil hat.
It's one of the things I'm like...
When I was at the Guild Summit, we saw the Imperial City. We saw a lot of the Imperial City. Like,
Yes.
I'm surprised they haven't
quiet.
released it yet, based on what we saw. Even one of the guys, actually, the guy from Mostly Harmless, has a die in. They showed him the achievement, and it was a contest. We had to name the color, and he won. So he named the teal die that you get for completing the dungeon.
Oh, nice.
So I mean, they got tons of progress done on that dungeon and done on that area. So I want to say it would probably be at least patch 2.0.
I think you're right.
Like, it can't be that far off. And as for it being a DLC, if it is, I'm going to cry. But I'm going to have it for free because I'm a subscriber.
Yep.
Yep.
Personally, I don't see it being a DLC. I think that would just create a shitstorm that they don't want to deal with, honestly.
But what determines a DLC, though? I mean, Orsinium is a completely new zone. It's going to have a bunch of new quests, and it's a DLC. But like, if
Well, I
we
think
were
there's
to
going to
look
be
at
different stages of DLC. Like, there's going to be the big DLCs, probably, which are going to be like the entire zones. And then maybe, like, okay, like they did with Venom City of Ash. Here's a small DLC, and this one's like $3.
do you think they would do that though? Do you really think they would say, you know what, here's the veteran version of this dungeon, pay $3 to get in? I mean, that seems like a pay gate to me.
Oh gosh, no.
I could see companies doing that. Like,
Can you see Zenimax doing that? Well,
No,
that's the whole thing is I can't really see Zenimax doing that much, but if they've seen other companies do it and are successful, like SWTOR, where SWTOR was, this is one of the things that now I'm going to rail on SWTOR instead of compliment them. The ability of, oh, you want to do a dungeon? And this is a system they had for a while. You have to pay in order to do like 3 dungeons a week. Oh, you want to do some PvP? That'll be $5 to do 3 sessions of PvP this week. And it's like, no. And although if it was forever, I could actually say it wouldn't be that bad. Like if it was like $2 to $3, but it's one of the things. A lot of this stuff is all like this entire show is a lot of speculation on what they're going to do and what they're going to be doing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big fan of pay gates. I mean, if they were just to release a dungeon and say, well, you can do this, but you got to pay money, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that.
No.
That just makes no sense. But an entire zone to the game, yes. I mean, that to me seems like a DLC. Seems like an expansion.
Yeah.
That I will throw money at. That I would have no questions about that. Even as a subscriber, I would buy an expansion. I mean, that just makes sense. It's like World of Warcraft. If World of Warcraft was buy to play, but they released Warlords of Draenor for $40, I would be like, okay, well, if I liked the game, I would have bought it. Sadly, I did buy it. I hate the game.
You haven't completed all your Garrison missions yet, man. Come on.
I'm 92 in that game, and I've had it for 2 months. Getting a level a month. But yeah, I mean, I would really like to know how they're going to determine what's a patch and what's a DLC, because I really think we need to see that information before anything major happens.
Well, we'll see what they come out with the next, week or two. I mean, this is only day 1 of the announcement, so.
Yeah, it was just announced today, so
Well,
the next US Live, they're going to be hitting a lot.
Ramp in chat is saying they said pay gates. They said no pay gates many times though. Now they also said they won't have 50-foot monsters in the game. It's not World of Warcraft, which it has 50-foot monsters in the game. They said they won't. The 6-month subscription was removed due to lack of people doing it. Clearly, that wasn't it. Seeing as the 6-month subscription is still there.
Smoke and mirrors.
Smoke
and mirrors.
Like it's, I really don't believe a lot of the things that ZeniMax says anymore, and I think that whole lie about the 6-month subscription really put a bad taste in my mouth, made me a little bit bitter. But maybe they can redeem it.
I guess they just weren't ready to make the announcement a month ago when we all called it, so whatever.
But if they weren't ready to make the announcement, why would they publicly remove that stuff right beforehand?
It was probably already set in the works, and they had to basically it's like, okay, we need to do this, this, and this in prep, and we'll have to deal with the consequences as they come. Like for different things, it's just as like a guild leader, you have to do it at times. It's like, okay, this person's causing an issue. I need to remove them now. I'll explain to everybody later why I'm removing them, but I'm going to remove them now because they're causing issues.
So, Quest Gaming Network, ZeniMax is like the Doctor. The Doctor lies. The Doctor never lies. He just doesn't say what he means. And he says what he means, but it's slightly encrypted. You have to decipher what he says. Just don't believe what the Doctor says. I mean, the Doctor believes in Santa Claus.
Oh, come on, Dr. Zoidberg, he's the best.
Wrong Doctor.
Wrong doctor. Oh.
Yeah,
Good example.
Wrong Doctor. I mean, I don't know. Overall, what is your guys' opinion? Like, where do you sit right now? Are you sitting as a fanboy saying, you know what, this game is awesome, I'm here forever? Or are you sitting there saying, maybe I want to play H1Z1?
I'm going to be sticking around. So if I'm still enjoying the game, I'm still enjoying the community. I was be asking a couple people. I know people are leaving, but people will be coming in. That's one of the things as I'm personally looking at. I'm going to be able to make some new friends. I'm going to be sticking around, and I hope a lot of people stick around and stick through it.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Lumi. On this. I mean, when Locho came out with the lifetime subscription option, yeah, I dropped $200 and I got it. So, I could pick that game up and play it anytime. I would do the same with ESO. In a heartbeat, I would do it. It's a great game. It's a great community. It's going to be a transition period for a lot of people who don't understand how these models work. As a veteran MMO player who has lived through multiple transitions of games transferring from a sub base to a free-to-play or buy-to-play model system, it gets better, folks. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. Trolls may come in. They're going to realize they're not going to have a place to stay or live, and then they're going to leave. It's just going to happen. It's the nature of the beast. So they got my money. I've subbed up for 3 more months, and I'll be an ESO Plus player. Absolutely.
All right,
I have to.
Sorry, go ahead, Lemmy.
Ramp in chat, and this is one of the things that Engwar brought up. I have to actually, in supporting the company overall, I'm sorry to say, a lifetime subscription doesn't help them as much as a regular subscription, because once that point is gone, they don't get anything else from you. Where regular subscription adds up over time. Yeah, they'll get stuff from the cash shop, especially a free-to-play thing, but it's overall, regular subscription works out better for them. So they probably, that's the thing, if I was them, this is just from a business standpoint, I would offer a lifetime.
I would pay for a lifetime as well.
I would pay for a lifetime, but I don't think, as a company standpoint, I wouldn't offer one.
See, and I see it the other way. I mean, I see it as it's $200. We'll use the $200 mark because that's what Lotor was. It's $200, which is essentially almost 2 years of payments. Well, it's a year and a half of guaranteed subscription money. After that, I mean, even within that year and a half, how much money are you going to spend on that item store? You're going to spend more than $100 in a year and a half, probably.
Never know.
That's take a look at Guild Wars. Guild Wars buy to play, but it makes more money on the item shop than it did on the box sales in total. It's item shops is where the money's at, and sadly, I really hate to see pay to play die the way it is. But being the negative Nelly that I am, I'm going to ask you guys a question: is Bethesda and Zenimax admitting defeat right now by switching this?
No.
Are they saying they need help, or they fear the game's going to die? Would this game have survived if it stayed pay to play?
Man, you like poking the bear, don't you?
I want to know what you think. Is this free to play and buy to play has such a negative connotation to it? And I think that has to do with SOTOR. SOTOR was a failing game that when it went free to play, it turned out to be a better game.
It bounced back. Yeah.
But Bethesda, Elder Scrolls Online is a fantastic game. It doesn't get the credit it deserves in a lot of aspects. People still judge it on the beta. But switching to this, do you guys see this as a pay-to-play defeat? Do you think they lost that war?
Example, and this is one of the things that took a lot of people, I don't know if they've realized, but it took a lot of people by surprise. Okay, ESO just went buy-to-play. That didn't shock too many people, and people are like, oh, the buy-to-play and free-to-play model. World of Warcraft recently announced for their stuff that they're doing a way where you may announce that they're looking at a way to acquire subscription in-game, essentially going buy-to-play or free-to-play, in a sense. So even World of Warcraft, the biggest MMO out there, is looking at this model and going, this has merit. Let's look at it.
I think that ZenCat77 in chat hit dead on the nail on the nose, in that it seems like they were trying whatever they could do to keep it subscription, but Microsoft and Sony wouldn't play ball, so they had to go to the buy-to-play model in order to keep it on the console. I think that's the only reason they did this, and that is my belief on that. I don't think they were not a failing game. They just won the best MMO award. I mean, come on. They were not a failing game.
But as Hockey says in chat as well, Final Fantasy, and this is one of the things I've talked with our Final Fantasy section for GBN, is they're subscription-based, but they're still on console as well. So there are other games that have done subscription and console out there. There was more factor into it besides just, I actually partially believe them when they're saying that this was something the community asked for a lot, and they decided to give it to them, where it's not really getting rid of the subscription, and it's not really going free to play where everybody can come in. It's still kind of keeping that pay gate in there to negate a lot of the trolls, but give it more opportunity to the people that picked it up at one point, and now they can come in and enjoy the game and go, I liked the game when I first picked it up. I stopped because I just couldn't afford the subscription, but now I can come back and have a fun time and hang out with my friends whenever I want.
So neither of you see this as a defeat in any way. Like, you see this as, okay, you know what? We're going to compromise the game in a way just so we can get it pushed to console so players can enjoy it.
No, I don't.
No.
Now, if they kept the pay-to-play, would consoles have survived? Or do you think it would have been... no, it probably wouldn't.
I think they might have
I
not gotten
don't
many
think
people.
would it. No, it's too many people on the consoles. They're going to look at that and say, okay, you want me to pay a subscription and all my, Xbox Live sub? I don't think so. No, they had to do this in order to get those console players. That's all it is.
Now, Lumi, you said they listened to the community. As soon as you said that, I was thinking, well, the community also asked for every DK to be completely wiped from the server and never created again.
There's some things they will do. There are other things that, I'm sorry, they probably won't do.
Because if they're listening to the community, that's one of the things I want to happen.
Oh, come on, DKs are fun. Like, but that's one of the things is they go, okay, you want them gone. What abilities of them that are affecting you that makes them want them gone? Okay, we'll work on these abilities. That's the thing. They're listening. Like, I watch the dev track almost every day. Like, every day when I look at it, I also make sure to translate to English from the European server so I can see some of the stuff. Like, they had a voting on which constellations and stuff like that, and a bit of discussion on what they will do. It was kind of interesting.
True.
I think they listened to the console community. They didn't listen to the sub.
So, two more questions. One question here I'm going to pull from chat. Do you think there'll be an influx in gold farmers now that it's buy to play? I mean, it's a lot easier to get into the game than it was before. And like I said, games, if you buy multiple copies of the game, it is dirt cheap. And gold farmers, they buy hundreds.
I think that's just going to be inevitable. Honestly, there's nothing they can do about that, I don't think.
Like, I think they've done a fantastic job on keeping spam. I haven't seen spam since release.
Well, yeah. You can't use gold to buy crowns, though. They've already said that.
It's true.
You can't do that. So what are the gold farmers going to get out of coming in now and offering you a bunch of gold when you can't convert that to the...
Well, especially also the fact that...
It's still going to be useful. Like, you're still going to be able to use gold in game.
Sure, but you're bringing on this new system, this in-store system, and you're saying, well, that might bring in more gold farmers, but why? They're not going to be able to benefit.
The fact that you can't sell the stuff on the auction house that you get from, like, the crowns and things, that's where I could see, like, and that's one of the things that actually helped the economy a lot, was that fact when you could do that in SWTOR, was it created quite a few market of these people that have a lot of money that do things. But besides that, I don't really see many gold farmers coming back, because although gold farming for people that are subbed will be a bit easier with 10% gold, which will be nice. And I don't know if you guys noticed, when he pickpocketed that guy on the thing, that blue item sold for 300 gold.
Huh. Oh! Told you, dude. Be a straight-up criminal.
Here's another question. So, let's say... So the game's going buy to play. We already know that. What would your opinion be if Zenimax did put in the option to earn crowns through questing and through playing? So let's say you log 10 hours of /play. That equals 1 crown. Or something like that. We'll just use that for example. What would you say if they put up the ability to become a ESO, what's it called, Tamriel Unlimited member?
Plus.
By using
ESO
crowns.
Plus.
Instead of real money.
So you're trying to go
similar to what WildStar did.
Yeah, similar to what WildStar did. Well, in that aspect, you have the ESO Plus players that would play. They're going to earn some kind of credit that they again can sell on the auction house for the buy-to-play players to buy to get access to 30-day sub or something of that nature. Right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, you would have to have some sort of to finish the circle. Yeah.
I
But
would
the thing-
say look at where WildStar is now.
Isn't that game dead?
Did it work?
Well,
it was a great
I don't
payment
think it was
model.
tied to that system because Guild Wars 2 has that system as well, where you can buy the stuff on there as well, if I remember correctly. But is more of for WildStar. It was very different. They had a very odd concept, and people just didn't follow. They're like, I'm not gonna do this bad of a grind. People are just not into that much anymore. But it's one of the things that I just can't really see people doing that because one of the things that ends up happening is the buffs aren't that great for being a plus member besides the extra crowns. And if you're wasting crowns in order to buy that, it's okay, 10% increased XP, research, gold, and crafting experience. That's all you're getting besides the crowns that you're also getting for being subscribed. So, personally, I can't see people spending in-game crowns, like maybe they've gone through questing, in order to buy a 10% increase that's not getting that much. It's like, it'd be a better way to subscribe first and then go the other way.
Mm-hmm. What are you thinking there, Engwar?
I would rather see the crowns just being used to open up DLCs if they choose to.
Yeah.
You know, that way, you're not going to get access to the DLC right away, but with a lot of hard work, if they were to offer crowns in game through some kind of sub-questing system that way, or pay for them, but don't do it like WildStar. That didn't work. I don't think so.
See, I disagree. I think the system worked. I think the game was crap. I mean, I really think that payment system, the whole cred system, it's a viable system. I think it really could work in a good game. Like, I think World of Warcraft could definitely benefit from something like that. I just think the whole WildStar is a WoW clone set in the future, set in a completely different fantasy, but it's a WoW clone.
Yeah.
And that's what killed the game. Nobody wants a WoW clone, because as soon as they get into the game, they're like, oh, well, it's WoW. If I'm going to spend money on this, I'll just go back to WoW where I already have characters. I had one more question, and I don't remember what it was now. It's sad. Let's see if I can just talk amongst yourselves here.
Talk to myself? I do that a lot.
Yeah, so do I. I'm just reading chat to see if I can find it.
Yeah, I mean, I would ask the chat room. What do you guys think? Any questions that you'd like to see answered that maybe weren't discussed?
Well, a lot of people, I think, are getting the confusion, and this is one of the things I've ran into multiple times today that I've already talked to a couple people, is free-to-play, buy-to-play, pay-to-win. Buy-to-play means that you have to pay the subscription, meaning that you pay for the box, and then you can play the game, basically unlimited, and pay for DLCs. Free-to-play is you would not be paying for the box or anything, you just automatically get everything for free and be able to go like that. Where pay-to-win, and this is one of the biggest things people kept on saying, oh, it's pay-to-win. Pay-to-win is when you can buy the best weapons, the best gear off the thing and go, now I'm the best, most geared character, and guess what? I just paid for all this with my own money, and basically gives you unfair advantage against anybody that doesn't have actual out-of-game currency. And
I was very excited to hear that the potions that they are going to offer on the store aren't going to be as good as crafted ones.
I was so glad to hear that. It's just going to be the
nice
standard.
Job.
It's just going to be the standard. Okay, Magic Pot just heals Magicka.
Yep.
I was so glad to hear that. I was like, oh,
I'm buying soul gems all the time.
That
would be
I'm
one
still
of my
a little
most
concerned
crowns.
about. That does seem like a little bit of a pay-to-win aspect. Just because, I mean, soul gems are... It's a high commodity. I mean, you really need that if you PvP.
Well, yeah, okay, but you can get a lot of them too just by PvPing. Really, I've never gone under 50 in all of the PvPing I've done, and I've never bought.
I've burned through probably 600.
Wow.
Yeah, when I get into some of the big groups that I run with and back up at times, usually and stuff will be burning through them like crazy because I usually have been running kind of small support groups. We'll be doing tactical sieges behind lines, cut off reinforcements and stuff like that, or reinforcing the big groups to make sure that they can succeed. And you can just burn through them like in a single siege, especially with forward camps gone right now, you can burn through about 25 to 30 on a single siege.
Yeah.
So for each keep, so it goes pretty quick.
All right. I mean, was there anything else you guys want to discuss regarding the pay-to-play or buy-to-play console release? Oh, the cinematic.
Oh, dude.
I mean, I really think this is going to fall under the radar. I really hope Quest Gaming Network talks about it today, too. That cinematic. Oh,
Best
my God.
one yet. Best one yet. Outstanding.
Like, that... I heard the news about Buy to Play, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm quitting. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not. What? Wait, what's this? Ooh, new cinematic. Watch it. Oh, I'm in the game. I'm staying." Like, it is such a good trailer.
Oh my God, that was cool.
There's like zero voice acting, but it tells a very great story.
Yep, I want to see all of them pieced together seamlessly.
Yeah, it was good. But I really
well,
think
that's the thing. They've always put out good trailers. Like each one, I've just been like,
yeah, Blur does a fantastic job. Like
Right.
that company makes phenomenal trailers, and I would like to see, and I know Bethesda has the money to do this. If the World of Warcraft movie works, which I'm guaranteeing it's going.
It works.
They're already talking about sequels.
I've seen the preview for it when I was at BlizzCon.
Yeah, I hate you. Shut up.
It was good.
I would really love to see Zenimax either do a live action. I don't even care if it's live action. Get Blur to do the whole fucking thing. Oops. Get Blur to do the whole thing, because that would be awesome.
Yeah, that was really good.
Like, am I the only one who wants a movie? Like, who wants a movie?
Oh,
I would love a movie.
Well, that's the thing. Like a lot. Like I've been explaining to other people when I'm trying to explain games. I'm like, they're like, there's not very many good books out there these days. I'm like, a lot of these books have actually become into games. Like a lot of these writers have actually been writing game content and different stories in here, and also. And that's one of the things I'd love to see, like a lot of these games, like maybe a Mass Effect movie, a Dragon Age movie, these different really awesome things, like especially if Blizzard can pull it off with Legendary Studios, which, like I said, I've seen the preview and it was awesome. The fact that if they can pull it off, it could be a string of things of all of a sudden these gaming companies going, we're also going to make a movie about these games. It could be awesome.
Well, you also got to worry, though. I mean, movie adaptations of games, or, movies from game adaptations just don't work. I mean, look at Max Payne sucked. Punisher sucked.
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy blowed. Well, the graphics were cool.
It was a great movie as far as what computer can do to make a movie.
Yeah.
It broke ground there, but the movie was...
Well, that's the thing, like,
kind of lame, yeah.
from the World of Warcraft trailer, what I saw, like, they're taking I believe, the right approach. They're taking a story from in-game and literally going, this is it. We're going to take the story and we're going to bring it basically to the big screen and give it life. We're going to tell the original story. That was. I believe they're going back to Medivh in the first invasion.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mean the Warcraft movie?
Yes.
I know Medivh is in it. I don't know if they'll get to the whole first invasion though. Like I think it's going to be the boiling point to the first invasion, but we're not in a World of Warcraft show. We'll talk about that on some other show. I gotta make note here. Kind Death Mario Brothers was badass. It was. Mario Brothers was pretty cool. So yeah, let's it's been about an hour and a half almost, so let's close this off with one final question. I'll pull both of you in on this. So we'll start with Lumi. Lumi, what is your overall thought on this whole transition from pay to play, buy to play move?
From most of the information that I've seen on there, like I was watching the ESO Live intently, I read a bunch of stuff I've been discussing with people when I was streaming earlier and popping between different TeamSpeaks talking and Mumbles talking with people. And my opinion is, I believe the changes will be good. It'll bring more life to the community of bringing people in. As long as us as a community between our different guilds, we work together and continue to stay strong. All this is going to do is improve the community. If it went straight free to play, I could have some arguments, but with a buy to play model, I believe that was the right choice to go. It's going to free up more people to come into the game and be able to enjoy the content and be able to hopefully strengthen the community even more than what it is already. That's my personal opinion.
I think that everybody just needs to see what happens. I mean, lots of emotions swirling, lots of speculation flying. Rumors are going to be out the window. Trolls are going to be out in force on the forums. So stay the course. That's what I say. Like I said, I have personally been through 2 games that have gone through this transition, and they're just fine today. So they're not dead games.
Well, I mean, Lotor
No, they're
and
not.
Sotor?
Yeah, Lotro and Sotor. I mean, they're not
They're both
dead.
still there.
They're
Well,
still
no.
online.
Yeah.
I mean, your interpretation of dead is mine are 2 different
It's true,
things.
because I consider
Star
World
Wars
of Warcraft
Galaxies is dead. Okay,
dead. Oh, City of Heroes is dead.
Zero of Heroes is dead. But as long as they're online and they're still making some kind of money, that's a win-win for that particular people that enjoy that game. So there you go.
Me, I think I'm on the fence still. I mean, I still obviously want to see a lot more information before I make a hard. This is my opinion. I think I like it in terms of it will bring fresh people to the game, and I really think this game needs it. I mean, I play Poplock Cyrodiil all the time, and I know everybody who's in there. There's never a fresh face, so I'm really hoping we see a lot more players, even returning players, coming back to the game and saying, you know what, wow, this game's completely different. Here's my money. That would be great. How many of those?
I can
will
tell you
actually-
why you see nobody on Pop Lock servers, because it's locked.
Well,
We're usually hitting Hadris and a 0-star defending children. That's why I don't go to Thornblade that much anymore. Like, I popped in last night to talk with Harlock and a couple of the other guild leaders that I know over there for PvP. I was just BSing with them. But yeah, we were hitting the other campaigns because it's always locked. It's like, well, can't bring the guild in. Go someplace else.
yeah. But overall, like I said, I think it might be a good idea. I'm not sure. I like the idea of new people coming to the game. I'm with Quest Gaming Network. I really think of this was a push because of the consoles. They couldn't make a deal with Microsoft and Sony, so they said, you know what? Let's just go buy to play with consoles. We might as well go buy to play with PC as well, because it wouldn't make much sense to do one or the other.
No, wouldn't.
So yeah, with that, we will get into our shameless plugs. Lumi's got some sad ones today. We'll see where his new road leads him. So Lumi, you got the floor, man. What's going on?
Hi, my name is Lumi the Lock. I'm GM of Gamebreaker Nation, and I'm sad to say, but I'll be leaving this podcast. And for a couple of reasons, I'll be starting my own stuff with a couple of guys that I know from Gamebreaker. It's going to be called Tesso Nation. You'll still be able to follow me at all the same stuff at Lumi the Lock on Twitter, at Lumi the Lock in game, and Lumi the Lock on Twitch. I'll still be on those 3, still hanging around. I'll still be talking with Engwar and Garbrac every once in a while, but I'm going to start my own podcast with a couple other guys that I know, and I hope to still continue to see you guys in the community and debate all the time. I'll probably still be debating with Garbrac and Engwar on Skype at times.
No, we don't debate. He yells at me though.
I don't yell at you. I'm like, ah.
What
Well-
about you, Angmar?
Well, it will be sad to see you go, Lumi. But if anything, it's just going to strengthen this community. I mean,
Yeah.
I think personally, the more podcasters and streamers that we have out there, the better that the community is going to be in a whole. So, I mean, it is sad to see Tales of Tamriel step out and turn their lights off. But maybe that's a slot you can fill and go from there. So, best of luck to you. And there's always cross-hosting, right? That still happens in this world, correct? Okay.
Yeah, it happens.
But you guys can follow me at Engwar Forever on the Twitters in the Twit world, and follow me on Twitch at Engar or Engwar. Hello, I want a guar. I want a guar.
Yes.
See you guys.
All right, my name is Garbrac. Obviously, it's sad to see Lumi go. He's going to be on to better, greener pastures, I guess, because our pastures are poo-filled. They're pastures.
What's the smell?
It's because you stink.
I showered
maybe that's
yesterday,
the
thank you.
mud crab.
So yeah, I wish Lumi luck. I'm going to check out his show. Are you doing it live on Sundays, or is this a recorded one?
I believe we're gonna be doing it live on Sundays and stuff. I still gotta talk to Troy and Larry, but hopefully we'll be doing actually this Sunday already and getting one up. But
Cool.
yeah, I'll be tweeting it out as soon as I know and get everything set up.
So clear your schedules for Sunday. Definitely check out TSO Nation's podcast. As for myself, you can follow me on Twitter at Garbrac. You can follow me on MMORPG's website. I write articles for there. Every other week is pretty much an article from me in the ESO column. I also write for MMORPG, but I do articles for Trials of Ascension. Wow, I totally went blank there. And we got a really cool column coming up in the future that's really awesome, and I'll discuss that later. But yeah, follow me on Twitter at Garbrac, and that's about it. And Engwar, do we want to talk about the other thing or no?
Later date.
Okay, later date. More things coming later date. On that note, I'm going to do a really awesome outro.